animation. So, let's see. Greetings to you, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings to you, Tioshiro, or Tioshiro. Ghost Eye, Heatherizer, Brigand Darthy, or Darthy. Quadlight, It's Too Early, Silverfire, Lethlin, and anyone who has joined us in the Lurker community. Welcome. Also, Tioshiro and Brigand Darthy, feel free to correct me on how to pronounce your names. That seems good? Alrighty, thank you. You love the little chat overlay? It's really nice, I like it. So yeah, welcome back to Final Fantasy V, our solo White Mage challenge. What we are currently doing is leveling up our poor old White Mage in the most efficient spot for until very late in the game. So we kind of need to take advantage of that until we reach our goal level. Since last time I did a little bit of research, and the goal level is going to be level 66. Though that might take a while, probably not going to be done anytime soon. And instead of leveling up Butts as a secondary White Mage, I'm going to level up Galuf. That way I can actually kill all bosses, literally all of them, with just a solo White Mage. The way I'm going to level up Galuf is later I will kill off Ferris and have just Galuf use the Phoenix down on the enemies. Toshiro? Alright, thank you. I'll try to remember that. And greetings Turbo Ruland. Thank you for your feedback, guys. Workshop Fiesta might be the best game to experience the game. Well, it was a really good introduction for me, to be honest. Some Workshop Fiestas are a bit trickier than others, but generally you have a really good time and you just get to learn and appreciate the classes you are assigned. You have the game on PSN, but a lack of time, that's unfortunate. PSN... I'm not sure how PSN version is. I just know the PlayStation version with the disc has really long load times, but I don't know about the PSN version. I don't recommend the PlayStation version for that matter. The Steam version is better, the Game Boy Advance version is actually really good, and the original SNS version is also quite good. You're not sure how to pronounce it either. Alrighty, fair enough. Also, those are the enemies that we are aiming to kill. Yep, these solos. Actually, Solo Mage and Solo Thief, aside from, I guess, Solo Berserker, are the most insane classes to solo through the entirety of the game. So most other solos can close out the game at around level 40 to 50 if you just try to go straight through. You don't know, basic mechanics are straightforward. They are kind of straightforward. But what you might get overwhelmed by is the amount of choice you could have. Although that's not true for everybody, it is true for me, but not everybody else. Yeah, what we are doing here is we just take advantage of that Hydra enemy that is really crazy strong in comparison to pretty much every other enemy. But he has no immunity to instant death mechanics. So I'm taking advantage of using Phoenix down on him, and he dies. That's if I don't die beforehand. Usually that's not much of an issue, but yeah, Phoenix Downs, they are dead. They actually have an active wall status, which means you could not even use life on them, you have to use an item. So, we need some antidote, heal, and I'm running out of magic here, so next time I need to go and use some tents to restore my magic. Nice to know where stuff is and what expectedly is. Going blind in a fortress can get you stuck with a lot of grinding without preparation. It can... potentially, I guess. Although grinding is relatively quick in this game, I feel. But that might just be me. Either way, most of the time you can find a good way, one way or another, around enemies, or bosses specifically, just by trying out on what you can or, well, cannot do against them. So I think usually it should work out quite fine, regardless of your composition you get. Maybe you could ask someone whether this is okay, or whether you may want to consider looking for a different composition. Because even if you get the worst composition ever in this game, you are not necessarily just stuck with it if you really don't want to. Extev's Castle? Yeah, well... the boss of the second third of the game is a tough nut to crack, regardless of your composition, I feel. But it can be overcome regardless. Grinding is quick, takes days at a time to grind up the mage. I mean, this is an excessive amount of grinding I have to do for a solo white mage. I don't think you can compare that to a regular game, honestly. Best tip for this game, learn math. Oh, I mean, you can look up the formulas if you want to. What's the next big hurdle in the playthrough? Atmos. I'm literally grinding here for Atmos already. I will be grinding both levels here, but also... okay, I need to go back and use some tents for restoring magic. I'm grinding 4 levels here, but also I am grinding for elixirs after I'm done leveling for grinding for levels. Oh wait, wrong way. White mage would not be grinding anywhere near this much. Yep. Also greetings to you, Agers. How are you doing? Are you sitting up straight already? Because I do. So, tents restore 100 MP and 1000 HP. So they don't get me all the way to full. If you want to get it to full, you need to use a cottage. But I can't buy cottages yet, so I just use 3 tents instead, and then I need to kill off my other companions again. What is my favorite Final Fantasy V job? Mine? Probably Blue Mage. Because you can do so much, or so many shenanigans with the Blue Mage. And especially my favorite thing of all time, running enemies and bosses out of magic. You can do that perfectly fine with a Blue Mage and the magic hammer? I forgot what it's called exactly. commence the back pain. Preferably not back pain once we are used to it and have our back muscles trained a bit more. But yeah, you'll feel it for a while. Make sure you have a proper posture. Maybe you'll want to look up at some point what is a proper posture even. So we're not doing something wrong and mess up our bodies. So yeah, I think Blue Mage is probably my favorite Final Fantasy V job. Other than that, I really like Red Mage too. And Monk, and Dragoon. And White Mage, and Berserker. And Bard. And Geomancer. Actually, let's see, the classes I probably like the least, if I were to be assigned, or got them assigned by Forge of Fiesta, would be, I guess Geomancer, Mediator, or Beast Tamer. And Chemist. Those are... and Dancer. Chemist and Dancer. Those four are probably the ones that I like the least. Unless I get the Bard and the Mediator, then we are fine again. Because then I can just use a stupid tactic against literally everything. Which is awesome. Messing up our body's hype? Not so hype, no. Let's not do that. Just sit up straight and don't destroy it. Hi! Oh, hi! Something like that. Bye-bye. So yeah, this is going to be going for a while here. What are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? How has your week been so far? How are you faring? What is your goal? Why are you so awesome? Also, we are level 40, which means every time we defeat now a Hayudora, it is going to quarter us now. That means we will have only a quarter of our life left, of our current life left, after we defeat each Hayudora. Which is a bit annoying. How am I today? Quite fine. No complaints. Today I basically got back from just relaxing yesterday pretty much the entire day. Although, while I was doing quote-unquote nothing today, yesterday, there it is, it always hits 100% of the time because it always hits level 4 enemies, or divisible by 4 type enemies. What I did yesterday actually was I played with Tales of Fantasia on the SNES, as in with cartridge, up to the point to test my manipulation, whether it's still okay with the new route, and it works out fine. So I did test that, and I also figured out that other than that my route seems to work out quite fine, no problem with any money. So I could confirm that as well, just on console. I also looked up various other things, and I also started playing Stardew Valley again. Oops. Just watched Ryu finish his punishment. Yes, I've seen that too. That's actually why my stream has been starting a bit late now. As in, I really wanted him to complete the Amazon run. Most of the time I had muted, so I don't know why he respect to freezing arrow in Act 3 Hell, but I assume he had his reasons. And also Amazon seems to be insanely powerful with just straight up damage. She might just be the strongest damage dealer. Straight up damage wise, potentially. Even stronger than the sorceress if she didn't have static field. Pass the boss in the week. Oh nice, that's awesome, Lefton. How difficult would you generally say is Berseria? As in, also, how is it difficult in terms of you need to grind more, or you need to prepare more, or you just need to play well? The reason for that freezing arrow respec was to avo... what quad light set? Lightning immune in Act 3 Hell. Right. But you also have to deal with that as an assassin, and all you do is you literally just run through quickly. To be fair, assassin runs faster on one hand, and also uses teleport a lot faster. A lot faster, so that definitely helps with getting through there. I just thought it was kind of crazy giving up a shield with resistances in Act 3 Hell. Sure, you could actually kill them, but... for that, I would just farm up money and teleport all the way through if I were to do that. Maybe even go for faster cast equipment specifically for that place, if you have the option. That would anyway be my idea of it. Also, I don't think I should heal up all the way to max health, because that seems like a waste of MP. It was insane. It was a very solid run from what I've seen. He was actually ahead of Theo's run up until Hell on Dario. And then Theo's run just kind of breezed through. I did the live comparison. Cup of coffee, no. Your car has officially disappeared under the snow. Ow. I hope you don't need it. Otherwise you probably will have to shovel quite a bit, it seems. Can you even get out? If it disappears under the snow, sometimes it's just, well, you can't move anyways. Hey, greetings Tawali. How are you doing, sir? Also, no slouching. Let's sit up straight properly. Just caught myself not sitting properly again. Come on. Delicious sandwich. You didn't find a shell rune and lost 1.5 hours farming one. Otherwise this would have been world record. 1.5 hours of farming shell rune? I've done that too. That's really annoying. Oh wait, is that why he basically could just go straight through Act 5 without leveling up afterwards? That means he spent a long time in there. You're doing great, glad to hear that. It's delicious, Ryu, Tushiro. There we go. I remembered. And hush, what else I did all night before. Big sheet of ice. Ow. I see. Oops, here. You haven't been finding this area to be overly difficult. It's mostly about playing well and using type of element weaknesses. Managing your soul meter can get pretty annoying in some cases, so I guess. Okay. I have no idea what a soul meter even is, to be honest. How do you do the 4 tower solo challenge? I'm going to level up Galuf / Kara as a second solo white mage. Galuf will be defeating Gilgamesh at the start of the third solo. Kara will defeat the Antlion at the beginning of the third of the game. Amazon has really good AoE, so I think leveling that character goes a lot faster. True. Amazon also does an insane amount of damage, especially AoE. It's quite insane to watch bosses just melt that on other characters you bash on them for a few minutes and Amazon just breaches through in one. And Fantasy 5 indeed. Hey Spiriax, thank you for the host, I appreciate that. And welcome everybody to a bit of a relaxed, laid-back grinding of our solos white mage for Final Fantasy 5. That's literally all we do here today. We search for Hyudoras or Hydras. They give the best experience for any enemy until very late into the game. And before that we need to level up quite a bit. Those guys, Hydras they are called. So this is what we do here. Greetings Spirax, and thank you sir. What were you doing if I may ask? What were you streaming, sir? Also currently we are level 40, which means it's divisible by 4 and always get hit by quarter, which reduces our HP to a quarter of what it was originally. So I need to heal up after every Hydra, unfortunately. The summon just basically determines how many attacks you can do in a row, and things like getting stunned by enemies and like can reduce the meter. I see. So basically, don't get hit. And keep hitting. Good morning, Paradox Hero. How are you doing, sir? I feel like during one of those leveling sessions I might want to do some solo class challenge readings again. That's a lot of damage, buddy. I already had the healing stuff in hand, so I could have just attacked myself instead. Wow, that almost killed me. Rude. And another miss. You had a rough morning, sorry to hear that. Hope the rest of the day goes better. I'm doing quite well, thank you. Also, it appears that Poison Breath does percentage-based damage? Question mark. I don't know, it seems to once deal very little damage and once deal a crazy amount of damage. Also, that was a pretty scary fight even. But those bosses or enemies are not to be underestimated, even if you technically can one-shot them, usually. Poison breath. Rude. Paris gained a level, finally level 41, so we are not going to get hit by quarter all the time anymore, which is really good. Give the poor Hydra mint. No, mints are friends, not food, please. Let's not give it a mint, or feed it a mint. Right? Wait. I feel like I make use my items here. Maybe I could look up how many Hydras I want to have to defeat. Like, I could look up an experience chart for Final Fantasy V. Its breath is poisonous. It is. But I don't know about feeding him mint anyways. Just in case you don't know, Tales of Fantasia has a little character called Mint. That's what I'm referring to. Mints cure poison. They do cure sickness in Mother 3, don't they? Ow. Rude. But yeah, mint can also cure poison too. Either way, leveling here is so much faster than in the ship graveyard. At least that's something. But you'll still need to go back and farm more elixirs. Although I feel like when I'm in here already, I might as well complete the actual leveling. And then go over to the ship graveyard after finishing this dungeon here. Once I finish this dungeon I can no longer grind in here, which is why I'm not going to face the boss over there on the right side for quite a while. Is there a specific reason why I chose fairies? Halfway. The reason is mostly that I like fairies more as a character than bots. Also, she has purple hair, so that's a big plus. But outside of that, it's really... she is only one boss missing compared to bots. Other than that, Ferris is always present in your party. So she's almost as much present as bots. And I want to level up a secondary white mage anyways, so I might as well make that Gallof, and so I have 100% of the cases covered either way, whether I chose Ferris or bots. Other than that, bots has a higher base strength, so reaching certain thresholds for dealing more damage with the flail is actually easier with bots, but Fairies is slightly faster. And I think she also has slightly higher intelligence, if I'm not mistaken. Which actually means, in theory, I don't need to level up as high. I need to actually check that out real quick. And greetings to you, Happy. How are you doing? But yeah, there's no particularly good reason to choose Fairies over bots. That's just what I do. Also, let me look up the thing real quick, actually. I have a Google Sheet somewhere where I did some minor calculations for Final Fantasy V, including thresholds for hitting certain breakpoints and level breakpoints to reach the next multiplier, or magic multiplier, or strength multiplier. And thank you for the good luck, Happy. I can use some luck. Getting more Hydras instead of Hayudoras would be nice. Doing fine, glad to hear that. Let's see. Forge Up Fiesta, is it that thing? There it is, alrighty. How much intelligence does Ferris have? She has... or 54 magic power, it's not intelligence. 54 magic power... at level 64, let's see. Oh, interesting. I actually only need to reach level 64 for getting the next magic multiplier threshold. 64 is approximately how much HP I want to have either way, so that's going to be handy. They butchered Final Fantasy V iOS, especially after they made Final Fantasy V iOS a good port of the design version. I do not know that. Greetings, Balthazar, how are you doing, sir? So let's see, level 64 is a good damage multiplier, but what about strength multiplier? Paris has 20 strength. And 64 happens to be also coincidentally a strength multiplier of 10, which I believe is one less than Butts has at level 64, but I'm okay with that. I just need to survive. So we are actually only going to level 64. Balthazar, thank you. Thank you for 11 romps in a row. I really appreciate that. Welcome back, and I'm glad to enjoy your stay. That's almost a year. Or almost a month. Or something like that. Either way, thank you so much, Balthazar. That's a long time of support. I think this is the only spot in the game to farm Hydras. I'm not sure I'm getting unlucky. I think that's just variation or variance. Sometimes you get 3-4 Hydras in a row, sometimes you don't get any. Technically I can also beat that group with the Hayudora and the other stuff as well, but it just takes longer. But on the plus side it can drop an elixir, which I have to farm 99 of anyways. Did it just sprite art for some garbage approximation? It looks really weird. Doesn't fit together, but yeah, we hear that. Normally the Hydra encounter is pretty rare, but at this point it's one of the common encounters actually. I mean, there's a Hydra and a Hyudora in this area here specifically. The Hyudora is a different enemy. It's not undead. 3 knights is actually the rarest encounter, really? I thought they would be evenly spread, to be honest. But I guess not. So what you can do... Oh, whoops, that's the wrong guy. I did not mean to charm the knight. Oh. Thank you for the 25 bits, AC 100, appreciate that. Well, welcome. How are you doing, sir? And greetings to you, Magus, and greetings to you, Corona Cat. How are you guys doing? And I win. Oh yeah. Oh, not quite yet. If the enemy just cooperates, we can easily let himself get finished off. Which gives slightly less experience, but has a chance for an elixir. Anyone hear about the Castlevania Netflix show? I've never heard of that. I did not even know that was a thing yet. And I'm doing excellent today, thank you. AC Wallander. Also, feel free to correct me on how to pronounce your name. I hope so do you. The layout got butchered? Yeah, that's what happens. Let's see, 90 out of 356 is Hyudora. So that's the same chance as Lonka Knight and Mage, this one here specifically. Can you calculate the percentages real quick? I'm curious. And then we have Hydra encounter. Hydra encounter 3. What is a Hydra encounter 3? Mage, Lonka Knight encounter. I don't think you're necessarily on the correct page, or I'm reading this wrong. You're not very hopeful about Castlevania. I don't know. The thing is, I have not... Oh, I just accidentally used ether. I don't know. I don't even know what I would want to expect from a Castlevania show. To be fair, I don't care enough about Castlevania. As a... idea, so to speak? I have no clue. Hydra, Mage, and Lonka Knight. Encounter 2 is Hydra. Basically, those two are the most common ones. Then Mage and Lonka Knight is 60, and the 3 Lonka Knights are 16. Interesting. Vampires and Skelly Bros. Something like that on motorcycles. It might bring back Captain N, the Game Master. Captain N? Wasn't that a comic in some Nintendo magazine or something like that? Greetings, Metal Bear, how are you doing? I expect at least one episode where they find a turkey behind a wall. Yes, a cooked turkey that tastes actually really good and refresh them. I'm going to be disappointed if they don't do that. I guess it really depends on how serious of a take they make out of it, doesn't it? Poor rabbit. Yeah, doesn't get coffee ever. Lord of Shadows canon for Netflix, why not? From what I've heard, Lord of Shadows is just a very different game from the originals or the general franchise, but not necessarily a bad game. But you can correct me in that if I'm wrong. The only yeah, this is the set of encounter that fits through. I probably just read it wrong the first time through. Captain N was a cartoon cringe fest, really? We had a comic of that in the Club Nintendo magazine, it was called. It was actually pretty fun. And I liked it as a kid, I really liked it. Because they, for some reason, got hostile with Samus-Aran and she kicked the table at the protagonist. Aww, I like Toshiro. Lord of Shadows is fun, different take on the story at least. Okay. I've only ever played the 2D side-scroller Castlevanias, never played any of the, well, Metroidvania type styles. So yeah, this encounter just takes way longer to play out. It's not dangerous, but it just takes way longer. On the bright side, I can heal myself up because I have enough time to do so. You never had Club Nintendo? It was pretty fun. This was the magazine that I learned from where the Nintendo 64 was coming. In about 1.5 years that is, and I started saving up money for it. Little me saved up something like 300 or 400 bucks. When I didn't technically earn anything at the point. Outside of, mommy, can I do something for money? Because otherwise I would have had to wait until they hopefully eventually would have bought it for me. But I didn't want to wait that long. The comic sounds way better than the show we got. It only had like 2 or 3 excerpts out of the entire thing out of it, and it felt very incomplete. So I have no idea. That might have just been a promotional thing, and we never got the show. I mean, it really is extremely difficult, in my opinion, to make a series or a movie about a video game, because if you are faithful to the original material, usually it doesn't make a good movie, it's just straight up like it is, because it's supposed to be a video game, and then also has video game pacing type thingies. But on the other hand around, if you make it a good movie, or at least abide by the movie rules, it is not as faithful to the original video game material, and people are going to complain about it, because they expect something else. Sometimes it meshes together well, but I don't think getting a good adaptation is particularly simple. Captain N was a morning cartoon about a guy that gets pulled into the NES universe. It was interesting. The comic book itself a bit more seriously, at least. But there was a comic book of it. That was not just a promotional thing. He almost died laughing. I guess it depends on whether you like that kind of thing. Thank you, AC Wallander, for the 30 bits. Rabbi didn't show his ROMs. It's mega cheesy. Mega. Oh boy. They have such different mediums, so it's difficult. Yes, indeed. You can do a lot of things you can't do. In one and the other. That just don't work. You want that we get that Simon? Also, we are level 42. Just 22 levels more to go. Also, let's see. I have experience chart over here. Level 42 is... Hang on. Toali, thank you for 4 ROMs in a row. It's your real sub-anniversary. Wait, you've been... Is Twitch doing weird stuff and it should be more than 4 months? Either way, thank you so much. Welcome back and I'm glad you enjoy your stay, Toali. Thank you so much. What level am I aiming for? 64. 64 is the goal. Sounds like a weekend of hype. Let's see, we are currently level 42. That is about 312,000 experience compared to the 1.686 million that we need. So we are not going to be done anytime soon, I would say. I'm going to need a lot of Phoenix Downs, yes. Thankfully, those guys always drop a Phoenix Down when you kill them, so that's a plus. But yes, this is going to take a long time, which is also why we are just chipping away at this grind once in a while, and then go back to doing other things that may or may not be more interesting. It's really 4 months, but this is the first month I'm directly paying for it. Oh, I see. I see, thank you so much. Toali, really appreciate that. Thanks to having a job now, that sounds great. Hey Gentatsu, thank you for the host, sir. Appreciate that. Good evening to you. Nocta Knight is going to die to the poison. Thanks a lot. Okay, he didn't die to the poison, I guess. Apple. It's delicious apple. Do you want to put something in the food box? Skype time with your family? Alright, take care and enjoy your save time. Thank you for being around. So, either way, let's see. How much more experience do we need? 343,000 to... 1 point, let's say 7 million. Let's say we have 350,000, then we need to go 1.7. That is 50 is for 650 plus 7 is 1.35 million we need. What is 1.35 million divided by 3,108? Let's calculate real quick. 1 point... So we need to only slay 364 more Hydras to be there. No problem. I've done longer ranks, right? Might take a while. Why can't you pet? You need to be nice to the Rabbi Ron. Yes, only 364. I mean, at least it's somewhat interesting, right? I think it would be, maybe. I'm not sure. You're not going to have much of a hand left at this rate. Nah, it's like a cat. Basically, if you do something wrong, even if you have no clue what it is, it just kind of goes. It doesn't intend to bite you. It just kind of goes rump, and you quickly take your hand back to yourself because you don't want it to get romped. Aww. Let me try. Let's see. I fed the rabbit well recently, so it should be nice. Yay! Every time you slouch, a rabbit rumps your hand. See, it just don't slouch. Get up straight. That's the issue. By the way, the Hydra in the background has exactly 2000 HP. No, it has exactly 2000 HP. That means every time it takes poison damage, it takes 1/16, which is 125 of its health away. Tacos, nice. I wonder whether the Hydra has a rare drop, as in the single Hydra. That would be interesting. In this game, not every enemy has a rare drop. Compared to Secret of Mana, where pretty much every enemy does have a rare drop, even if it's not a particularly good one. Like even rabbits can drop gold instead of anything else. Yeah. See. What is 90 divided by 256? Let's see. So it's 900 to 512, 3, 7... something. 3... 180. $768. 900 minus 768 is 32, 232. 100 divided by 256, so 35% you say? 0.35. Yeah, I guess that sounds about right in the end. But it's a 35% chance encounter. That's actually a higher chance than I anticipated it would be. Oh, we're level 43. One more level and we have to deal with the quarter again. Come on. I wonder what the chance is for Phoenix Down to succeed. Because when I first was here, the chance seemed to be relatively high. But recently, I seem to miss more. But I'm pretty sure it's a fixed chance. And I was lucky before. Maybe unlucky now. Kind of hard to tell. Ouch. Thunder is going to deal more and more damage the higher you level up, because it is always taking a quarter of your maximum health. It's pretty ugly. So, for anyone who still wants to play this casually and may not want to know as to why I'm leveling up, because let me actually point out as to why. So yeah, as in those people may want to mute for a moment. Let me actually point out as to why I'm going to level up to that extreme. So, later on, in World 2, pretty much kind of in the middle portion of it, there is going to be a boss which has a pretty interesting script, as in how he fights with you, so to speak. So, what the boss does is he attacks 2 to 3 times every time your individual character can attack. As in, he is ridiculously fast, and he starts on top of that with a haste status. So he is just really ridiculously fast and gets many turns before you do. And every turn, what he does is he checks on whether your character or any of your characters are dead. If they are not dead, he will use Meteor or Meteor Spell. Meteor Spell is a spell that does flat damage from anywhere between 400 and 1600 damage, straight up. As in, it's a really wide range and can deal a ton of damage to you really quickly. And because he gets 2 or 3 turns every round, you kind of need to have a lot of maximum health to be able to survive a single turn. So, how you're normally supposed to beat that boss is by recognizing that that's the only thing he does, and as soon as one character of yours is dead, he will start actually a special phase, where he drags your dead characters, or unconscious character for that matter, closer and closer to his open mouth or portal or whatever you want to call that, until he sucks them in. Once the dead characters or unconscious characters are sucked in, they are no longer usable for battle, as in you cannot even revive them, they are just gone from the battle. And as soon as no character is unconscious on the floor anymore, he starts with his meteor phase again. So what you're normally supposed to do is you should recognize that, oh, he's going to kill one of the characters with meteor really quickly, but the others can just already deal damage and defeat him in the meantime. Then you revive that one character before he gets sucked in, and kill off another character so he starts sucking in that character, and you deal more damage in the meantime with all the other 3s. Usually you can deal enough damage to defeat him in the meantime, or maybe you have a character that can use a sleep spell on him to put him to sleep, and well, you don't have to deal with that in the first place. Unfortunately, White Mage does not have such options, and because it's a solo challenge, the only other sort of option would be to use what Sola from Sola.com actually does in a lot of solo challenges. He kills off the other 3 characters one by one instead of having them all dead at the beginning, in order for the wall, or for Atmos actually, to suck him in one by one. So the reason why he does that is every single character can technically beat Atmos straight up the way I'm going to be doing it, but because it is actually quite a chore to level them up so high, and because it's literally just that one boss who is this much of an issue, having to level up your solo characters just for that one boss and basically trivializing the rest of the game because of it is not a lot of fun. However, it turns out there are 3 job classes that just straight up don't deal enough damage for it to be possible to use that strategy against Atmos. Even though killing off one by one, White Mage and Bard and Thief for that matter, they just don't deal enough damage for even that strategy to work out. Dragonfang, interesting. So, what you need to do is, you have 2 options. You try to kill him while healing up and just straight up tanking the meteor damage, or you run him out of magic. With the Thief solo challenge, Sola leveled up to like 64 or so, and that's how he got to enough HP to be able to use an elixir every other turn and attack once in a while. But he needed that high level to have enough buffer HP to be able to pull that off in the first place. What T-Hawk did in his solo challenge with the White Mage has the small advantage of being able to use Shell, and with Shell he only takes half the damage from Meteor. With that, he can actually heal against the Atmos barrage of spells reasonably okay, but he needs a lot of elixirs as well to refill up his health to back up to maximum after taking a sufficient amount of damage. So that means the White Mage here is aiming to run Atmos out of MP. Meteor costs I think 14 MP, and Atmos has 10,000 MP total, so something like 2,170 or so meteors need to be survived in order for us to run Atmos out of MP. So that's the entire plan. And for that we need enough HP to survive enough meteor spells. Oh yeah, by the way, the Bard is the only other class that could not deal enough damage to survive, but the Bard has the unique ability to be able to hide. Hide in boss battles just makes him literally untargetable. The boss can do absolutely nothing to target the Bard, but because Atmos still spams Meteor, and Meteor just doesn't hit him, he runs out of magic eventually anyways. So that's how it works. And good morning, Hobbas. How are you doing, sir? If you have any questions as to why or what I'm doing, feel free to ask. I know I need 19 elixirs to survive Atmos. Maybe I don't have to go all the way up to level 64. But there's a good chance I have to either way. Maybe if I'm too lazy, I'm going to just only go to, I don't know, to 60 or so, and just leave it at that, and try to sneak my way past with level 60. We'll see how it is going to work out though. You have never heard of this challenge before. Have I done it previously? No. I have not. What I have done is I have done some 4-drop Fiesta, where you are limited to just 4 classes with all 4 characters, and I've done an extra variant of that 4-drop Fiesta with just a single character before, but I've never done a solo character class challenge before. But I've read it up on some blogs, mostly on sola.com with 3 L's that is, who just did pretty much all of those solo class challenges one way or another, and that's where I got a lot of my information and strategies from. I've never done this before, and I'm also not going to be the first one to do this either. But it's one of those crazy challenges that just seem kind of ridiculous, and I like ridiculous challenges. Aww. Delicious potato. Tasty. A good morning so far. I see. Your messages arrived quite fine, Hobbas, and, well, glad to hear it's a good morning so far. And thank you. Looks like 1429 Comet casts. Oh yeah, it's called Comet, not Meteor. Meteor is the higher level spell. Good thing White Mages are very proficient in surviving. Yes, the only downside is that because you actually don't get the higher level heal spell until literally right after Atmos, you have to rely on elixirs. You know, kind of, White Mage is the healing class in the game, but you just don't get the higher level healing spells until right after that boss, where it would be really handy to have right on the boss. So we have to resort to elixirs as items like any other class. You don't really understand how crazy those challenges are until you read up a bit up on them. Yes, indeed. What I've done before is, with emulate the fast forward, a lot of fast forward in fact, I've done a solo berserker up until... oh, we are level 44, derp. So that means you get hit by quarter again. I've done a solo berserker run up until Neo X-Def and I did something like 200 or 300 attempts on Neo X-Def, with a lot of emulate the fast forward, that is. Wasn't even too bad. Mostly because, once again, I had pretty much all information from some other poor souls who have attempted that and written blogs about it. Which is actually a lot of fun to read up on. It's very enjoyable and informative, because they are also writing really nicely. It's a good start. I guess I can do that too. In Final Fantasy VI, you have to wait until your ATB fills up in order to run away. But in Final Fantasy V, you can heal and then run away right after. So maybe I want to take advantage of that. Preemptive attack, nice. Alright, goodbye. But unfortunately, still level 4 quarter. Zing! There goes most of my HP. 3/4 of my HP to be precise. I've actually contemplated whether I want to change it up a little bit and start leveling up Galuf already. But the issue with that would be that it would then subsequently take me just way longer to then kill off Galuf again whenever I need to progress again. Which, by the way, is a pretty unfortunate thing either way. That because I want to do everything with solo white mages, I also kind of have to level up a second solo white mage. But that also means the second one is not going to be lowest level possible. It just takes a while. Also, it takes a while to kill him off again. Slice of pizza, rump. Those enemies here don't give as much experience, but I can heal up during the fight. They are, well, another encounter instead of having to farm all the way for Hydras. Plus, they have a chance to drop an elixir, which I have to farm elixirs eventually anyways, up to 99. How much experience do we have? Almost 400,000. That moment when you space out in your thoughts and just kind of, well, forget to hold L0 to run away. Just... Why is my character not running? Oh yeah, that's why. Derp. Rush. I started with 99 Phoenix Stones. How much money do I get for each? I don't know. 319 gil. That's a lot less than a Phoenix Stone. We'll have to buy 10s again. How much money do I have now? 29,000. Which is, well, giving me 29 more Phoenix Stones. Which means I might actually run out of money, interestingly enough. On the other hand, I can also sell various things that I just straight up don't need. I guess I shouldn't be worried about that. Also, on every successful kill, I get the thing back anyways. So, my class frequently changes from white mage to poison, and then I use antidote and it's no longer poison class. At least according to the description. With the limitation of the system, I guess. Or maybe it's not just limitation of the system, maybe it's actually better that way, because only relevant information at the time is being displayed. Some is being a bit swallowed, but I don't think it usually matters. Hello! I love grammar. It's nice every time he does not poison me, so I don't have to use antidote, but literally have to heal every time anyways. Also, if I'm lucky, I only need 4 MP for those enemies. But if I'm unlucky, I need a fair bit more than that. Okay, technically I only need 4. But if he hits himself out of confusion now, that would just take way too long anyways, and I will confuse him again. I'm not sure why, but the second Poison Breath seemingly usually is way weaker than the first one. I wonder whether those are two different spells. Oh no, come on. That takes a long time if you do that. I could, in theory, just wait until they die from poison, but that was just take too long. Okay, there's a reason why I don't usually fight that group of enemies. Just takes so much longer than running away and then finding another Hydra instead. Maybe I should start killing those groups for the chance of an elixir and no quarter spells. Both of those things are really handy. And I'm hitting a divisible by 4 level. Oh well. No, don't hit yourself out of confusion. You have a chance of 1 in 3 to hit not yourself. Well, 2 in 3 to not hit yourself. And I believe it's 2 in 3 to not use a physical attack. So it seems rather unfortunate whenever he hits himself out of confusion. But I'm not sure that's exactly how his AI script looks. It might be a higher chance to hit himself out of confusion than I think it is. Or maybe that's just variance, because after all it is about a 12% chance either way. I mean, 100 divided by 9 is 11 point... Okay, it's a bit more than 11% chance. Wow, it didn't deal any damage? That's weird. And greetings, Sandonas. Hey old people, remember when Windows was as useful for games as Mac is now? Does Master Race. I do not know. I really like playing those games. There are quite a few that I remember very fondly. But thankfully nowadays we have DOSBox, and so we can still play them if we want to, without the inconvenience of having to use too much command prompt inputs, or too many for that matter. When you had to start the computer, boot into Windows, then exit to DOS before you could start Pinball Fantasies in order for it to work properly. Yeah. I remember doing stuff like that too for, I think, Civ 1, as in Civilization 1, and also when I wanted to play a Settlers 1. That's a really long time ago though. And then at some point I didn't have that option anymore, so I couldn't play those games anymore. But for the most part I didn't even care, so it was okay anyways, I had other stuff to do. Nowadays we can just use DOSBox for those old games. That's neat. And GOG? Yes, GOG mostly distributes via already pre-set up DOSBox setups, which is really handy. Because GOG is basically an official distributor, so you can now buy those old games again legally instead of having no other option than to pirate them. That's really awesome. On top of that, for speedrunning, it has the benefit of allowing you to be able to compete with other people without having to worry about getting the exact same setups all the time on all possible PCs as well, in order for you to run those old games if you wanted to do that. Which is relevant for the games like Jazz Jackrabbit or Duke Nukem and stuff like that. I'm not sure there are many other games where it's relevant. Emulating fan translation in Nesticle Genesis? I've never heard of those, to be honest. Actually, I heard of Nesticle, but I have no idea in which context that was. Oh no, why does it jump to the ether all the time? Oh man, I don't want to use up ethers. Actually, I don't think it really matters, I might as well use up all the ethers. No, it's on 10. Why is it by stand default on that place? So we gained 6 levels so far, that's nice. The icon? I have no idea. Not like I would have known enough back then to, well, get the word anyways. Okay, I need to get some more iced tea, give me a second. Oh, that's nice. That kills them off right away. That way I don't have to worry about it. Oh. Thank you, Mr. Hydra. Agamoff is still as clumsy as usual. I had to spare my iced tea. Sorry about that, give me a second. Alrighty. Let's continue to grind. Oops. Almost 2000 HP. That's nice. Can assist was a Genesis emulator done by the same guy who wrote Nesticle. Was pretty decent in its day. Right. Clumsy muff indeed. But at least not slouchy muff, so that's a plus. I seem to get used to sitting like this. The only downside is that my legs are starting to complain because I'm not holding them in a appropriate angle, so to speak. It's weird. Give me a second. I feel like after today I will have a tons of seconds. Oh, sitting like this is way easier. No, it didn't ruin anything. A little bit dropped onto my plastic bag that I happened to have laying around on the floor, with which I went grocery shopping today. But other than that, it was basically just over the... what's the word? Over the container itself. And I always have paper towels right around for those kinds of cases, because I'm too clumsy to not have paper towels around. Am I slouching confirmed? No slouching. Nope. 1998. Yeah. I think the first emulator I've ever used myself was SNES 9X. And it was really awesome. I heard about ZSNES emulator at that point as well, but I tried that out and I found SNES 9X to be way more user-friendly, and there was no reason for me to use ZSNES, so I just stuck to SNES 9X. What level am I aiming for? 64. This will take a long time. Actually, we probably want to do a little bit of a calculation. Before I move on, once I hit 64. Whether I need more or not. Nesticle was relatively stable compared to a lot of NES I used in that era. That sounds good. I just remember when that was probably one of the emulators I came across when I wanted to emulate NES games back then. But for the most part I only cared about SNES anyways. I think what I ended up going with was FCEUX for NES whenever I wanted to play anything, which was completely fine, no problems ever. Seemingly anyways. I remember discovering emulators, what a great day that was. Yes. The way I was basically informed about emulators was... I was in a pretty large gaming forum, German gaming forum by the way, back then. Just kind of by pure chance I got to get to know some people, and one of them told me, hey, have you ever seen anything like this before? And he showed me, look, you can download this, and here you can download all the SNES games you ever wanted to play, and even this one, which was never released outside of Japan. And I was a really big fan of RPGs back then already, so I was really hyped about that. It never quite felt like playing the games on console anymore, but it was still really amazing. Because I finally could play all the games that were never released in Europe in the first place. Because they just didn't get a localization. I didn't know any English back then, or at least not beyond just very, very, very basic school English. So a lot of the games I just kind of started playing and I have no clue what I was doing. That included games like Tales of Fantasia. I remember getting... I think I got to the point where the city was destroyed and then I had no clue what to do because I couldn't take the ship since I didn't know I needed to talk to the lady. Or which ship to take for that matter. The only way you got to play Seiken Densetsu 3? Yes, same thing for me. Luckily for me, Seiken Densetsu 3 was one of the few games which actually had a German translation, and so that was the one way I could play it, and I played that game quite a bit. I never actually finished it when I originally played it. I think I got to... I think I actually got to the Mana Beast of Darkness, Sable Far, and beat it. But I didn't get any further. By the way, my main character was Hawk. I picked Lise as secondary, and then I went for Duran, I believe. No, actually, it was Hawk, Angel, and Duran. What else was there? Oh yeah, I remember just randomly picking some SNES games once in a while and downloading and testing them. One of those happened to be a Japanese only release, which was basically... what do you call that? Dodgeball? But in a really odd kind of setting. Basically the characters were rather chibi, but alien-type creatures, and they were just playing dodgeball. And that game was really awesome. I had no idea what I was doing, but I probably should try and find that game sometime. It even had some form of story, but because everything was in Japanese, I had no clue what was going on anyways. But just through playing, I figured out how to... basic mechanics, and eventually started winning more and got through the game. That game was really neat. And also I happened to randomly play Hagane, which I stopped playing after about 5 or 10 minutes because I had no clue how to control that guy. And greetings, Mad Insane, how are you doing? Hello, Hydras, please. The 35% chance to get Hydras. The other Hydras, that is. Single ones. That would be lovely to have again. Not those. But yeah, nowadays we have more options to actually get the games legit, which is awesome. But some of the games you just can no longer get legitimately nowadays, so the only option you have is just to pirate it. That used to be true for the Wizardry games, which I wanted to play again at some point, until GOG popped up, and a lot of the games that I remembered from my childhood, I suddenly could get them again, the normal way. Basically, for me, as a kid, it was never a question of whether I wanted to pay for the games or not. It was whether I could, both because I did not have access to a credit card, my parents didn't have any, they still don't have any, and I think that's a fair choice. But also because they were just unable to buy in the first place for little me. He got stuck on the mirror boss. Mirror? You mean the wall? Or chimney or whatever it is. Either way, that was one of the first blockades as well that I remember encountering. What else is there? You could always use someone else's credit card. Not really, if you don't know any numbers. Basically, little me was more than willing to pay stuff so I could play games, but I didn't have the option. No one had a credit card in our immediate vicinity that would also have been willing to lend it to a little guy like me. And who would blame them? Like, a good friend of my father had a credit card, but if you get asked by a little guy, "Hey, can I use your credit card?" What do you think would your response be? Of course it is the same. You are advocating using it without the knowledge. Nah. Basically, when it was about money, I was a very conscious kid about that stuff because we never had too much money. And I was taught from very beginning to be very careful with it. And that was nice because that still helps me today. Level 46. I just realized leveling up a secondary character to that level might take a while as well. Do I really need level 40? Isn't like level 34 or so enough? I guess I don't really need that high of a level. About 1200 HP should be good enough. I'm starting to get lazy about leveling. Plus, if I need to level up a second white mage for the portion where it's relevant, I think I have other options too if necessary. I wonder, is there some way to get immune to being poisoned? I don't think so. Well, at least not as a white mage in this portion of the game. You could technically use a bone mail, but the white mage couldn't use that anyways. Let's see. Maybe I should look into Atmos AI behavior a little bit while we are just grinding here. That way I'm making basically a bit forward progress that is kind of relevant towards this thing here. Let me just open up some web pages while we are trying to grind. And the web page I'm looking for, where I just know where to happen to find the information, is from T-Hawk's solo class report. Solo white mage. Next. There we go. I'm there. Let's see. It would average about 400 damage per combat, it says. So 533 damage per turn of Atmos, 2 separate 2 out of 3 chances of casting combat. 1600 when Atmos with his mage status got 3 turns in a row. Watch out, this Vehinos also. This would have to be... So about 1600 HP we need to survive 1 turn of 3s. Greetings, Jill with Phil. How are you doing, sir? How is it going? Delicious cookie. Ouch, rude enemies. Wow. I'd like to get not hit by that thing again, thank you very much. Whoa. Oh boy, delicious SpongeBob and everything else. Very, very good. Nice, that sounds awesome. Oh, that sounds awesome. I wish you good luck with that, Phil. And self, I am doing overall quite fine. I would dare to say I'm in a very nice spot currently, just generally speaking. Also trying to not slouch. Which, once I stop thinking properly about it, I seem to get back into the habit of things. But overall really nice, thank you. And I wish you good luck with that. That seems like quite a cost. So let's see, combat deals 50 to 200 damage, minus White's maximum magic defense of 24. Times 8, halved for shell, so 104 to 704 damage. So on maximum... Atmos casts 4/3 combos per turn on average. Multiplying everything together gives you that White must heal 404 times 7 out of 3. 1257 damage per turn to survive. Level 47 too. Goes forward steadily. Times half for shell. Oh, he already calculated shell in there. So 104 to 704 damage per turn, it seems, from Atmos. Which means maximum he deals 2112 damage in a single turn. That's the theory, but it can never happen because of how RNG works in Final Fantasy V. So about 2000 damage, I guess. So all things considered, I want to have about 4000 HP total with our little white mage here, and that should be sufficient total. In theory. I could actually try to calculate whether or how much I need minimum in terms of maximum HP for it to be reasonable. I think he had a bit more of a margin for error, so maybe I don't need quite as much of a maximum health. So, also after the next Hydor, I'm going to go back to the save point real quick, tent up to heal the MP, and I also need to go and use the bathroom real quick. Hey Floam, how are you doing? How is it going, and welcome back. Doing quite fine here. Oh, come on, Phoenix down, please. Work already. You're doing well? Nice, glad to hear that. You're doing good as well, Mr. Seth. Glad to hear that. Procrastinating at work. Well, I know that all too well. Hope not too much. Better get stuff done and then slouch around instead. Alrighty, I'm going to go real quick. Be right back. Alrighty, let's continue. Moving stuff back into place, and here we go. So. I think I'm going to go up until, I don't know, level 52, 53 or something like that. No, let's just say I'm going to go on for a solid 4 hours. We are currently about 2 hours into our grind, so about 2 more hours. And then I will switch over to Tales of Fantasia. Rush. For a moment I considered already leveling up Gallop, but that would be really inconvenient. No, I don't like Thunder. So much damage. You don't want to take your medicine, because when you do, it means you've got to work. Most people need to work one way or another. But if it's to the point where you don't want to take your medicine, maybe you want to try and switch something up, although depending on the situation, that can be ridiculously difficult to impossible, unfortunately. Either way, doesn't sound too pleasant, Mr. Seth. Wish you all the best, sir. And good luck. And greetings to you, Stelasio. How are you doing? Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, whatever it might be. Sick days can be fun if you aren't too sick. If you're just sick enough that you can stay home, but not too sick to enjoy not having to work, that can be nice, but usually that's not quite the case. You'd just rather play games at home nowadays. I see, yeah, that's... I understand that. I do. Although, you need to also... You probably know that yourself, but... For me, when I was working a more regular job, it was just kind of always exciting and awesome to get back home to finally play video games, which I was looking forward to the entire day already. And now that I'm kind of a full-time streamer, well, it's a job now. So... Even though I like doing this, sometimes it just kind of lacks the bit of excitement that I pretty much always had otherwise. So basically take away from it the good thing, where you just really like playing games and enjoy it when you can. Right is the spice of death. That's a weird way to put it. Can you explain that? Or maybe I just don't understand what you're saying. If it helps, your job isn't playing video games as much as it is being an entertainer. I guess that's not wrong. Although generally I don't tend to focus much on my person as much as I like to put the focus on, hey, look, awesome game there. Spice of life? Still don't understand, sorry. Oh yeah, that's a thing. Oh, wish you the best, Stelasio. Reading the dictionary? I'm not sure about that. It will probably be about the boring. If not for you, it might be for me. To be fair, maybe I would learn a lot of new words, and then probably forget them 5 minutes later. But at least I've known them at some point. Normally you make 40-hour shift in a week, now you have to 70 hours this week alone. Wow. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work. As long as you can take it a bit easier afterwards, then that's good. Right is the spice of life is a saying that means it's good to change when you're doing what you're doing to keep your life exciting and fun. Ah. Makes sense. Yes, I guess that's pretty much exactly what I was saying in that case. We would know a tons of A words. Yes. I'm not sure we would get much further than A. Maybe we would get a glimpse of B, but I would probably be falling asleep by then anyways. You would listen to me reading books in languages I don't understand. Thank you, but that would be kind of strange for me. Oh boy. This is a sexual position? I don't know about that. But yeah. I prefer none of that in this chat if you mind. If you don't mind that way. Every around. Also, my English is questionable. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, just feel free to ask. I probably just derped with pronunciation or words for that matter. That's interesting since I have tons of variety and no tolerance for handling spicy stuff. Oh. At HDQ I also figured out that if I go to an Indian place, I don't want spicy. That was too spicy for me. I could eat it, but it was not enjoyable, unfortunately. How did the D2 run go yesterday? Well, I died in Act 2 Nightmare, so basically a bit less than halfway through. It was a fine run, for my standards anyways, but not quite where I would like it to be. It was the assassin, yes. Actually it might have been the day before, because yesterday I had one day off for once. Urban Dictionary can turn anything into lewdness? Yes, I know. I have my experience with that. But I prefer it not in this stream if you don't mind. I also don't judge if you'd like that kind of interesting weirdness or facts for that matter. Just preferably in your head. Or for you personally. Not like I'm an angel. But not in this stream. Indian is good, you can get it not spicy, but that's not as common. Well yeah, the Indian restaurant we went at was basically spicy or not spicy. And I was being convinced to take it spicy. I shouldn't have taken it. I knew it wouldn't be my thing, probably. I decided, yeah, let's try it anyways. I guess not. Next time anyways. Not my thing. Indian food is not nearly as good when it's not spicy. The spiciness has so much flavor, in my opinion. I think that's a fair opinion. It makes sense. It's just if I can't taste anything anymore, and then I can only focus on how spicy it is in the first place, and not on the flavor instead, then it's not particularly enjoyable, unfortunately, for me. It can be as good as it gets if I can't just focus on the flavor and have to focus on, well, the spiciness. It just doesn't work as well. And greetings to you, Kalaka boy. How are you doing? So I wouldn't be a fan of Thai cuisine. Probably not on the spicy end. As in, the thing is, I can usually eat it, in the sense that, well, it's food, but I just don't usually enjoy it. Kind of like, I don't actually like the taste of pepper, for example, for the most part. It is fine in combination, as in just kind of in a recipe, when it's inside other stuff. which is part of a greater thing, but putting pepper onto a dish is not my type of thing. Not because it's spicy, because I don't like the flavor. I wonder whether the spiciness I tasted was mostly I didn't like that type of flavor, or whether it was just kind of I didn't like the spiciness, to be honest. Was that you have to throw it away? Yeah, I did that with curry once. You ask me, you can make brilliant baked potatoes with just water, vegetable oil and salt. Another skill. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that being tasty. Medium spice being better than mild. Can't really say much to that. Never had either. But it makes sense. And we are under 50 Phoenix Downs. Well, back up to 50 because this one always drops a Phoenix Down. Also one more level and we are back up to a divisible by 4 level. Which means each Hydra is going to take even longer. Because I have to heal up after every single Hydra. It's Hydra. Hydra. Kill Hydra? I'm not sure about that. I don't think that's the same Hydra. Also, I think we are level 48 now. Yep. So, that will take a while till we are past that portion. Although we are, experience-wise, almost a third through. Almost. Ice 3 Hydra? Ice 4. Oh wait, what? Alrighty, now we are officially on the 50 Phoenix Downs. And there we go. Reduced to a quarter of my health. I think above 1000 HP I'm usually safe. Ice 3 Hydra was meant as a bad shock, as if Ice 3 was similar to hail in the weather sense. Why am I getting whacked at the end? Because my level is 48. 48 is divisible by 4. And the Hydra enemy casts level 4 quarter every time I defeat the Hydra. Quarter reduces my HP by 3/4 of my current HP. So as long as my level is divisible by 4, it will reduce my HP by 3/4. Which is true for 48, 52, 56, 60, 64, 68, etc. And also all the 4s before that. So every 4 levels, it's pretty annoying to then subsequently heal back up the amount of damage every single time after I defeat a Hydra. Have you seen the new game, World of Final Fantasy? I think I have. It's not that new anymore, is it? I believe Background Guide played it and really liked it. For me personally, I feel like I've not played enough Final Fantasy for it to be that enjoyable. And it's a cute little game. It's fine. I wouldn't necessarily say that I would get a PlayStation for it specifically though. But if I had one, maybe I would play it. Marisa K. Just subscribe. Thank you. Thank you very much, Marisa. Welcome, and well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Thank you very, very much, Marisa. You've been around since quite a while. And you're always welcome to lurk, and also just be around. Thank you very much. Thank you for the support. If you charm the mob, it can't cast it. Oh, that's a different enemy. This is a Hydra. On the bottom left you can read Hydra. The Hyudora is the other, the green one. Those are 2 different enemies actually. Doesn't look much different, but they are actually different enemies. They have slightly different color, and so they are also slightly different in terms of how susceptible they are against things. For example, the Hydra enemy is susceptible to Phoenix Down because he's undead, but he also has Wall, which means he would reflect any spell that you cast at him. But because items just circumvent Wall, you can just straight up use Phoenix Down on him. But the other enemy is a Hyudora, which means you need to use different strategy against him. Because he does not have Wall, you can charm him. I cannot charm this guy because, well, it would just bounce back at me. Yes, it's a bit weird. I didn't realize that initially either. Also, those enemies here give 3108 experience. The entire group of enemies with the Hyudora, the green Hydra, gives less experience than this individual guy. Which is why most of the time I just run away from those. You hate when you're doing with Moogle's voices? Moogle's voices? Oh, you hate what they are doing with Mock's voices, that way. I do not know. But thank you, Marisa. I mean, it works quite fine with this one, I like it. Yep, that one works with so many things. That's true. So yeah, this is, as you can see, a Hayudora. So slightly different. He also has different attacks. He also has Rush, but he only ever uses Poison Breath, Quake and regular attacks when he is confused. A Butts Parade? Something like that. Quake! That's exactly what I'm hoping for the Hydra, just to use Quake. You saw a multi-headed lizard thing and thought they were all the same. Yep. No, that doesn't make you racist. That makes you not particularly observant for little details. And that's pretty normal, I would dare to say. Because a lot of details you only start to realize when you look at things either really intimately, as in just on a detailed level because you're specifically looking for details, or when you are just spending a lot of time with it or looking at it for a long time for one reason or another. Also, it really depends on what you are trained to observe and look at, for that matter. So if you're not practiced in spotting small differences in video games and enemies, and if you're not used to them having slightly different colors potentially, you might not even recognize that. Because the names look so similar that you just kind of assume, oh, that's the same enemy, he also looks very similar. Until you realize that one is dark blue and green, and the other one is green, yellow. Which, without a second thought, just looks very much similar. I'm not sure what kind of comment, but I appreciate your thoughtfulness. What did I just pick up? I think it was a Dragon Fang, actually. I think it's more that I looked at it as a different tier. It's still the same. Oh, yeah, alrighty. I mean, that's a different baseline approach too. If you notice there's something different, but because it's the same sprite, you kind of assume one is stronger than the other. But other than that, the same. Which a lot of games do it that way. Stay in the box, I'm sorry. That doesn't work. Need to stream. Hey Faith, how are you doing? It's been a while. Good afternoon to you, question mark. Morning? Noon? Something like that. How's it going? Oh my god, you GG barbecue. Been lurking a bit. Alrighty. Hope you enjoy your lurking. Evening is close. Well, that works. Glad to hear you're doing well. No, back attack. EGG needs to have that barbecue now. Same here, Lethlin. Oh, there we go, finally. By the way, guys, if we are just doing that kind of thing here, if you'd like to add something to the food box, please whisper at Yagabot, and I can add the thing to the food box of your desire. Just add what would be the reaction of it you putting, or the specific person putting it into the food box, and what is the reaction of the rabbit finding it in the food box, or what happens later for that matter. So if you'd like to add something to the food box, feel free to just whisper Yakabot and I'll add that. I actually need to real quick open up my browser for that though. Give me a second. Actually have to restart my laptop in the first place. Sometimes it doesn't recognize the keyboard anymore, which is kind of awkward. Look at me, I'm a butterfly. Oh my god. Now I get it. Oh, shoot. Don't kill it, please. I didn't heal. That's not clever. That's really not clever. If he attacked me instead, I would have been toast. Wow. That was really not clever. Derped. Ferris gained the level, yay! We are no longer level 47, 48. So we can heal back up to full without having to worry about quarter. Okay. Keyboard works again. But yeah, I understand now what you mean with the butterfly. That butterfly. That was basically the icing on the cake for BGG. Don't actually look at you, you're not actually a butterfly? No, why not? Stay focused and quit slouching. I'm not slouching. Well, I guess I'm technically leaning over to the laptop, but that's not slouching. I need to get closer to the laptop to activate stuff. Subs used to be butterflies. Well, moths, yes. But at some point I basically asked for, let's see, we can make now zap badges for people based on how long they are subscribed. And I kind of asked around and someone made two versions, one with rabbits, little rumps, which was really cute and awesome. And the other one was with improved butterflies. Personally, well, moths. Personally, I like the moths better, but most of people just voted for the rabbits because they were awesome. So we went with rabbits instead. Okay, give me a second. Okay, Aegis is not a butterfly. Just make sure you don't get too close to background guy. And it's all alright, right? Only difference between moths and butterflies is hairy antennae, if I remember correctly. Yes. And often there is no proper distinction between the two. So it is a very... There's very much a gray area between the two flutter type animal weirdnesses. You like moths? Nice. Welcome, Lynn. How are you doing? You're headed straight to BGC's home. Wow. That's some form of impressive. Hi, friend. Oh, that's a pretty fancy laugh, actually. That's a really fancy one. Doing okay? Glad to hear that. Oh yeah, no one want to add anything to the food box, I guess? That's okay too. Good morning. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm that fancy. Is there a fun story behind my name? Not really. It's literally just a misspelling of something from Magic the Gathering. And in the end that just kind of stuck to it. That it has moth in the name is mostly just coincidence. So nothing too fancy from my name. Basically, Magic the Gathering has a card that is called Yawgmoth's something. Either way, Yawgmoth is something from Magic the Gathering, some kind of godlike entity or so. And I never played Magic the Gathering for myself much, but a friend of mine from school had a lot of cards, and I remembered when I needed a character name for like my 8th character in the Ragnarok Online, there was something like something pretty awesome called like Yawgmoth, and so I went with that instead of Yawgmoth, and that kind of stuck since then. Three Lonka Nights. Wow. This is the rarest encounter in this area, and I get it twice in a row. That's some form of impressive. Wow. I ended up godlike? That's weird. I think my channel is just awesome because of all the people around, so that's nice. By the way, Hers, once you arrive at BGG's house, please tell him good morning from me and have a nice day, sir. Hopefully he appreciates the message. I need to stop mumbling so much. I feel like right now is probably a good time to... right now is probably a good time to try and focus on my pronunciation. So I'm not going to be quite as far off in terms of how I mumble the words. Because I tend to do that way too often. Of course I do. You, the chatters, the lurkers. I think that pretty much covers it, because between there being people that chat and people that not chat, there's not a whole lot left over. And I like both portions, so that's pretty awesome. You just need to hide behind a thin wall where he can see you, but he can't reach you. No problem. Orb. Yep, that sounds about right, Aegis. Policeman? Police orb? Oh boy. I'm definitely starting to feel my back again. How are you holding up, Aegis? And for anyone curious what that even means, ladies and gentlemen, basically currently I'm in competition, a friendly competition for that matter, with Aegis 10 and Black Shadow some number behind it. And basically whenever stream is on, we do not slouch. The first person to slouch is, well, loses. And so he's just trying to sit up straight without slouching. And if you have not done that since literal years or never before, that might take quite something out of you. And I definitely start to feel my back more and more from this time on. You're pretty okay today, actually. Wow. So it's basically reversed, where I'm getting into trouble and you are fine. That's quite okay too. Oh yeah, that's kind of what is happening right now. Oh, no, they don't. Basically, it's just a principle of what's the word? Honor system, that's the thing I'm looking for. Thank you, Letland. It's just an honor system. So if anyone would like to join in, feel free to do so. And as a general thing, if you manage to not slouch before I start slouching, then you can tell me what to do for a stream. That's pretty much it. You can tell me, look, this stream you're going to do this game or that thing or that weirdness. And I'll have to do it. So if anyone would like to join in, feel free to do so. The less slouching we have, the better, because in the long run it should be better for our bodies. At least that's the theory. You can't afford not slouching. Basically, you're always tired. Not enough sleep. That's not good. Yeah, as long as we don't see the confidential information, it should be fine, right? That would be kind of weird, though. Good evening, Francisa. How are you doing? You're an insomniac? Oh, that's no fun. That's no fun. I assume you already tried changing up diets and stuff. Because, I don't know, for me it's simple. When I'm in a phase where I don't get enough sleep, that is usually over within a week or two. Then I'm back to normal. But unfortunately that's not true for a lot of people. You can't throw food at the rabbit. Oh. You're doing good, glad to hear that. I'm doing okay. I feel my back a little right now, but other than that, quite fine, thank you. But it's on my own volition, so it's fine. That's okay, Zandanos, don't worry. That's completely alright. Sometimes you feel like more of a hype, and then you watch someone that is hype, sometimes someone that is more relaxed and chill, and sometimes you just want to see a specific game. That's just how it is. Variety is the spice of life. I think we have made a full circle now. Most of the time nowadays when I'm watching a stream, I'm not even listening to the audio either way. But that's just me. Download Vivaldi and open multiple tabs in one window. For Twitch you can also use multi-Twitch. I think that's probably a bit more straightforward. I've never heard of Vivaldi before, to be honest. Wasn't that the dude who composed 4 Seasons? I want to see the games being broken, that's all the streamers I watch are doing. I see. Well, I guess not currently from my end. Because I'm more trying to squeeze through in an unintended way, but not necessarily breaking the game. More fun to have audio but no video. Yeah, I mean, if you are sorting through other stuff in the meantime, that's just... that makes more sense. Alrighty, let's go. Need to refill my MP and also save once in a while. Vivaldi is just some not so well known browser. Oh, interesting. Well, I guess I didn't know. Still waiting for someone to break Terranigma. Yeah, lots of people tried. None have succeeded so far in doing actually something useful with the stuff that breaks it. You can get a little bit into wall while swimming or jumping up from swimming. You can do some soft locks. You can do a weird cutscene glitch, actually 2 of them, but both of those soft lock too. And no, Mr. Seth, we are not done grinding, but I need MP to make it safer for the grind. So using 10s to recover 100 MP each time. You can only use 10s on a save point or on a place where you can save. And I might as well save once in a while, so just in case I happen to not pay attention and die, I wouldn't lose as much progress. We still need 13 more levels. Maybe a bit more. Depends on when we reach 4000 HP. 4000 HP is the threshold we want to reach. And at least level 64. It's built on Chromium, just with a different UI element, so it's not like you're stuck with some super unsupported rendering engine or something like that. Interesting. Poison breath, thank you. That's convenient. For me, YouTubers look weird sometimes in Vivaldi. Okay. Personally, the one thing that I'm kind of missing from my current browsers is mouse gestures. Or more specifically, the type of mouse gestures Opera used to have about, wow, 8 years ago now? That's a long time, holy smokes. 8 or 9 years ago, Opera was really bad with Flash and JavaScript. As in really bad. But it was, other than that, really fast, and the mouse gestures were super responsive and quick. So I was able to navigate and do stuff extremely fast in the browser just by moving or wiggling the mouse a little bit around to get it to work. Any other browser, when you install an add-on for mouse gestures, it doesn't work nearly as good. It is not nearly as responsive, unfortunately. And also Opera, actually, by now it might be good, I don't know, I haven't tried it recently. It at some point got an update, and it completely messed up the entire mouse gestures. And since that was pretty much the only reason why I used it in the first place, well, I switched over to Chrome. Chromium is for Linux. Vivaldi does mouse gestures since it's from the original guy that does Opera. They'll probably be very familiar. Interesting. As long as it's as responsive and quick, I'm definitely going to try that. But yeah, that's the thing that I kind of miss the most, but at this point I'm kind of used to it. It's just opening links in a new tab, opening a new tab in the first place. Minimizing a tab inside the browser window is actually also something that I'm kind of missing. So you can basically have a tab window inside another tab window, which is really handy. Or just closing a tab. Let's see whether I recall the gestures that it had. Upright is minimizing or maximizing or unmaximizing a tab inside the browser. Down right is closing a tab. Straight down is opening up a new tab, and if you do that on top of a link, you open the link in a new tab. Wow, rude. Then... what was it? Down left actually minimizes a specific tab. Right mouse button and then wheel up and down, you switch between the tabs rather quickly. And for a long portion of time, I literally didn't have the tabs displayed at the top of my browser anymore, because it was just not necessary. Also, I was in IT school, and whenever a teacher would come around, well, I wasn't doing anything fishy or looking at anything I shouldn't, because I didn't have any other tabs open. Because obviously no one knows how to operate that thing if you don't use it. So they didn't know I actually had different tabs open in the background, and I could switch between them just by blip in less than a quarter of a second. So yeah, I think that's a big reason as to why I really like starting using mouse gestures. And then down, up, actually open up a copy of the current browser window. Also, if you press Ctrl-Shift-U, you could edit the current source code of the website and basically just change it to whatever you want it to be. As in, if you didn't like the black background, or if a website had an obnoxious picture in the background, you could just easily edit that out really quickly by Ctrl-U and apply, and boom, it's away. So yeah, that was what I used Opera for. It was really handy. Maybe it's good again nowadays, but as I said, at some point they made a big update. New version was not nearly as good. I actually did go back to the previous version of Opera for about a year or two, until the Flash and JavaScript got too outdated, because obviously an old version was no longer supported, so I couldn't really properly use it anymore. Mouse gesture options: new tab, new background tab, close tab, reopen close tab, reload page, history, back, history, forward. Oh yeah, left and right are forward and backwards. History rewind, I have no clue what that means. Fast forward, I have no idea what that means. And stop loading. True, stop loading is another thing, that was straight up. It was really handy too. So you can't minimize it with inside the browser itself, I take it. I see, yeah. Thank you for the information. Can you minimize a tab inside the browser? So you have basically it just in front of another browser tab. Does that work in Vivaldi? Oh, come on, stop doing that. History Rewind might just be all the way back to the first page that you visited. Also, Opera is the first time I've actually seen it use... You know, nowadays when you open up a new tab in pretty much any browser, it has your favorites there or whatever you customize to be there. That's the first time I've seen it in Opera as well, which was really handy. So you were really quick to any place you needed to go, or wanted to go for that matter. As in, currently what you can do is just straight up grab a tab and then drag it out of the window. Oh, come on. Don't kill me now. Rude. Wow. It's going to kill me, isn't it? Oh! That's pretty rare. But that's why we save once in a while. I know it allows tap stacking, which might be close to what you do. Not sure what tap stacking means. Yes, indeed. It's another reason why I don't use elixirs to refill MP, aside from me wanting to keep the elixirs, is I want to save once in a while, and that's just a good opportunity to do so. Nice. It's still being developed, so you could talk to the developer about it. I'm too lazy for that, to be honest. But yeah, it sounds interesting. It does sound very interesting. More than one open window in the same tab. So yeah, I think that is pretty much what I'm getting at, Marisa. That sounds about right. Oh, I see. Okay, no, that's actually not what I'm talking about. I know what it is now. It's not quite it, but that's another thing that Opera could do. It's just I never took advantage of that, because I didn't have the tabs displayed in the first place, since I didn't need to. I just press right mouse button and the mouse wheel and switch between tabs that way. And if I needed to look at which tabs I have, I could just look at the list that pops up briefly. New background tab? Yes, down left. It was originally. No, was it? No, down left is minimize tab. I don't know what background tab was. I haven't used mouse gestures in ages. Wait, am I 49? Okay. So yeah, I did save recently-ish. I missed maybe 5 or 6 Hydra kills now, which isn't too bad. A lot of former Opera users that like Vivaldi, I see. The thing is, I don't know why other people liked Opera. I just know, for me it's the mouse gestures, and that's literally the only thing. That's literally the only thing. I didn't care about many of the other features that it had. Opera, at least originally, was one of those browsers that was fairly innovative in a way that was also simple and intuitive enough for me to actually start using those features. Like, as I said, the quick access thing whenever you open a new tab, so you have quick access to whatever web page you want to have open. Like whenever you open up a new tab, you can then just use numpad to quickly select whichever, well, number of tab you want. If you have up to 9, that's easy to select. You can technically have more, but I didn't use more than 9. You like it, but Vivaldi suffers from the same issue as Chrome. Rump. Yeah. I kind of imagined that would be the case. To be fair, it doesn't really matter much to me. I usually have enough RAM for it to not matter at all. And greetings, Falorthin. Thank you for the congratulations. I appreciate that. And yes, indeed. I didn't quite expect Diablo 2 to get in over Tales of Fantasia, but I'm okay with that as well. Although I would prefer Tales of Fantasia to be in there. But that just means I need to practice Diablo 2 a fair bit in the upcoming months before RPG Limit Break. Or more specifically, give it more priority over other games for that matter. Which is fine, I like that game. Yes, Tales of Fantasia did not get accepted, but Secret of Mana Co-op 3-player and Diablo 2 Nightmare Percent got accepted. I've liked Firefox better for ages. To be honest, I've never really tried Firefox. Because when Firefox was kind of at, you should use not Internet Explorer, use something else instead, was basically just only other quote-unquote option was Firefox. That's when I used Opera. I never gave Firefox much of a chance, since before that it was just kind of, Internet Explorer is good enough, no problem, no reason to not use it. Oh yeah, there's that. What run are you most excited to run? Probably Secret of Mana. I really like Diablo 2, but playing Secret of Mana with people that are actually good at the game is going to be amazing. It's going to be so good. Firefox became one of the slow browsers. Compared to Opera, it actually already was the slow browser from when I switched away from Internet Explorer back then. That should be fun indeed, Ray Dances. You're super excited for Mozilla switching off Gecko to the Rust-based one. Okay. I actually have no idea what that means either way. What I'm starting to think about, the time limit for me for Diablo 2 is going to be 4 hours. So I will need to figure out which classes can run a nightmare run within 4 hours. So there's no question that the sorcerers can run that. But I'm not sure about the other classes, to be completely honest. I'll need to figure those out specifically. It's going to be softcore, so I can take advantage of some death warps. But that's not going to save too much time in comparison to how slow I am, so I just need to get straight up better at those. Also, I will have to limit myself to specific classes, otherwise I will not be able to practice all of them equally. And greetings, Electrofunk. How are you doing, sir? On your birthday? We'll see, who knows. We basically requested that Secret of Mana should be later in the week, preferably. Because we do need to practice together. And we only get to practice basically while we are at the event anyways. Other than that, we can only practice Secret of Mana individually. Also, I don't expect to get a whole lot of practice in for Diablo 2. So I will need to be well prepared beforehand with that. So let's see. Diablo 2, I need to sort out which class can run Nightmare in 4 hours. Sorceress, as I said, can definitely do it. Necromancer is most definitely too slow, and so is Barbarian, so those two classes are out. Preferably I would not run Sorceress, because I'm just not comfortable with her. And the difference in terms of how quick Sorceress is compared to the other classes is actually a bit wider of a gap than the rest. So, if I also would exclude Sorceress, it would leave over Paladin, Amazon, Assassin and Druid, I think. Going okay? Sounds good. Your birthday is the finale. Oh wow. I hope interesting. Gecko is Firefox rendering engine and it's getting pretty old. Servo is new rendering engine written in Rust, a programming language focused on being fast and safe system programming language like C and C++. I see. What is a flow modeler? I don't know, but whenever I hear Floam, I kind of imagine something soft and fluffy, like a gigantic rabbit that is just really fluffy. Or something with a lot of soft fur, like one of those... what are those called? The big cats? Or cotton... Hey, greetings Ryu, thank you sir. How are you doing, and congratulations on completing a hell hardcore Amazon run. That was quite fun to watch. Oh. Have fun with that, Sandonas. You gotta do it. I know. The only reason why I have not run Amazon yet is because you wanted to not run Amazon for, well, a pretty good reason, obviously. But does that mean we can do Amazon races now? Also, what is your opinion on running Diablo 2 in 4 hours through Nightmare? Which character classes should I pick for, let's say, a donation war? Sounds like a mythical creature, like a Volpertinger, I guess. It was a weird missing of foam roller. I don't even know what a foam roller is. Vivaldi rules. Well, we have a new fan there, and I will definitely check it out as well. So yeah, thank you Marisa, and whoever suggested it. And greetings, Glowstick of Destiny, how are you doing? You say things in a silly way. I so do. You can't do Amazon races till the cows come home. So that means we can only do them normal, because otherwise we need to go to the cow level. Source can do a 3-5 safely. Assassin should be able to do it too. What about a druid or an Amazon for that matter? A foam roller is a foam roller. I may just not be familiar with the concept. Level 64 and Grings Ua Putta. And yes, I'm farming Hydras for experience. I'm going to be doing that for quite a while. Well, not today, but in general. I'm going to soon switch over to Tales of Fantasia for some more routing. Ow. Hell run using only bar, but only with daggers. Why daggers? That would be kind of weird. Throwing daggers allowed? Zone can't she use 5 to 6 hours to clear Nightmare? I just figured she looks really strong. But then again, I've only really seen the late game of the run. I guess she takes just too long to get rolling. Druid can do it. Source Druid Assassin. Oh yeah, Paladin was a thing too. The thing is, I feel like I need to focus on 2 or 3 classes to be able to reliably do it within 4 hours. I know Sorcerers would be the simplest quote-unquote to do that kind of thing. But on the other hand, I feel like Sorcerers would be not a particularly good marathon run, because teleporting everywhere is just really confusing for someone that may not know the game particularly well. She's very strong, but normal takes a good while. Right. Oh, by the way, what is your normal build, Ryu? Because I remember when I played Zon a little bit, she was actually pretty competent in normal as well. But on the other hand, that is when I'm still really slow myself, so that doesn't say anything. You have one of these. Okay, that's a foam roller. Still don't know what that thing is for, to be honest. Max exploding arrow, then max fire? You mean no poison javelin? Back scratcher. Not sure about that. Current users use poison javelin, charge, strike, and normal. Right, I've used only poison javelin so far. I really like your Ondario strategy with the exploding or freezing arrow. That looks really fancy. Just kind of standing around across the pillar. That seems really good. No poison. Do you think that's better with no poison? Because I do feel like poison is just ridiculously good. But then again, I've never tried anything else. Not done much with Amazon. Use it to roll out your back muscles? Wait, what? Poison takes too long? What do you mean with too long? You don't like relying on AI. Oh. I'm completely lost. I don't think that's anything new. Level 51? Level 51. Alrighty, let's go and save again. I feel like I should save every time before I hit the a divisible by 4 level threshold. A foam roller is a long cylindrical piece of dense foam that people use to roll out their muscles. Eh? What does rolling out your muscles even mean? As in... I have to admit I've never heard of that concept. You could imagine this spike roller being used on your back. I'm not sure about that. I was imagining something like a steam cleaner for a carpenter, so... As a foam or self-massage? Or as form of self-massage? I'm not trolling you, I've never heard of foam being used for massage. Oh, thank you, that's handy. What's the count up to? We are level 51 just now. So we are about a bit more than a third there in terms of experience. You work out nuts or help release the buildup of lactic acid in your muscles to help with muscle soreness. Okay. It's like a massage. Yeah, I guess. It's going to be a while, yep. That's why we do this kind of grinding in sessions and segments instead of trying to force it all the way through in one go. Because that would be super boring if I did this the entire day. At least to me. Unless I were to start reading some more stuff along the way, which, I mean, I could do. But the issue is I kind of need to be also paying attention for when I'm doing this, so I don't immediately die. I've almost died once, and I have died once just by pure bad luck. You had linked a picture for me. How did I miss that? That's weird. As I said, I've never seen that thing before. But thank you, I appreciate the education. The spike roller is kind of useless. Making tiny holes in the wallpaper before removing it doesn't really speed up anything. Wait, what? You feel less like an old bag. Okay. You feel like the wallpaper sticks out even more on the wall after using the spike roller on it? Eh? talked extensively about Floam. Yay. I think it's foam. You will use it as a weapon. For honor, for blood, and for glory. In case of burglars. Oh. It reminds me kind of a bit like Home Alone at this point. By the way, has anyone seen the recent Tuso Grande, where they had to play Home Alone 2 for the NES? That's an interesting little game. Watermelon everywhere. I feel like that's a quite fitting reaction of the rabbit. Just watermelon everywhere. That's like, yeah, that's good enough. If someone attacks you, start to explain what the thing is, and then they'll confuse. They will get confused and run away. Sounds like a plan. Wasn't this game super hard? I don't know what you consider to be hard, but in a sense it is NES hard. It just doesn't make sense in a lot of places. And yes, still running the same hallway, we're not even halfway through in terms of total experience. But yeah, we're going to switch over to Tales of Fantasia sometime soonish, like in about half an hour. Swampy Pit says hi. Hello, Swampy Pit. I don't know who Swampy Pit is, but say hello back from me. That's okay. Make sure not to attract too many frogs. They usually spit a bit too much poison, and they definitely are not food. Not particularly good for your health. Zoning Act 3. Wait, a Swampy Pit? Why would you go in there? There's no reason to go into the Swampy Pit. Unless you try to do a silly 100% run, where you try to kill every single enemy in the game. That sounds like a plan. Maybe I should do a playthrough or run like that sometime. Kill every single enemy in the game. Every single one. Don't lose a single enemy. But I feel like then I would also need some form of an add-on or something like that that tells me how many enemies there are total still left over. And also, once I manage to defeat all the enemies, it should spray out a little bit of confetti. Otherwise that is kind of pointless. No, don't put frogs in the food box. Frogs are friends, not food. At least those ones are. You're very against poison today. Oh. Grimer is fine. Grimer is not poison. Grimer is happy. He's a happy element. Hello! I love Grimer. I should adjust the move out command so it actually works with Franker faces. And greetings to you, happy camper. How are you doing? By the way, I recently saw Magus go online with Final Fantasy IV No Escape. What does that even mean? Does that mean he cannot run away from battle? And he has to fight every single battle or so? That seems like it would take almost as long as Tales of Fantasia, no running, no holy bottles. Also give me a second. Getting a bit more comfortable here. My chair, unfortunately, is, at this point, very much used. So it's kind of halfway falling apart, and the seat cushion is also rather worn down, and not particularly too pleasant to sit on directly anymore. This is rather unfortunate. I need a new chair. I could use a new chair, but really all I need is a new seat cushion or something like that. An entire chair would be a bit overkill. Delicious pizza! Oh, I like pizza. Greetings, Profness. How are you doing, sir? Good afternoon. Or good evening. I think it's afternoon. Finally, you have lunch, the rabbi knows. Yep. Pizza is good lunch. Oh. Oh, I see. I didn't realize my mod actually got a whisper, so I should implement that in the little break that we have. About 20-ish more minutes of grinding, and then we go to a different type of grinding out the route for Tales of Fantasia. Where was I last time? Let's see, in Tales of Fantasia. Might as well want to try and think ahead a bit already. Let's see, last thing I did was, I think, I defeated Gnome. Yes, I need to check whether I wrote down all the menus, because I need to have the formation in the far front. But I think other than that, I'm basically just at Gnome. Or defeated Gnome. There's nothing else interesting in Gnome's Cave, other than that you just literally walk up to Venetia, go through Undini's Cave. And I think Undini's Cave should be rather straightforward. There's one rune bottle in there in front of the switch, but other than that there's nothing too fancy. I think the old strategy that I used up until then should still hold up. Because Undini's Cave is one of the areas that I redid more recently. So it should be up to date with that strategy. No. Hello. Aww. Sorry, there's a rabbi not in the food box. There's so much food in there. Wow. Rabbi doesn't like agers. Slouching. Stop slouching, agers. Ah, it's okay. How are you holding up? Yay! Right is happy. Still fairly good, filling it on and off. I see, that's fair. That makes sense. I think I could have run away if I did not heal myself there. Maybe I shouldn't try to heal during that encounter. Oh, there we go. I love it when it's a preemptive attack against the Hydras. That way I can basically usually kill them before they can do anything, which is awesome. Attack from the back. Oh no. Rude. And greetings, Tacket. I'm doing quite fine. How are you doing? Good evening, good afternoon. Whatever it might be for you. Could be morning. What level am I? 51. I think once I hit 52, I will probably switch over to Tales of Fantasia. That sounds like a good benchmark. Then we actually gain 14 levels in the meantime. Fortune cookies. If you'd like to add text to it, when you add it to the food box, or when the rabbi takes it out of the food box, feel free to whisper Yagabot with it. Happy camper. That way I can just easily add it. Oh, come on. 35% chance. Poison bread. You still have a full delicious teas entry written up, but it's at home and you're rarely... Oh. Doing fine here? Glad to hear that. Where am I from? I'm from Switzerland. Oh. Hello, Senkai HS. Thank you for the host, sir, and welcome everybody. Greetings to you, Senkai HS and Dice. See? Good evening, how are you guys doing? And what were you doing, if I may ask? Maybe Friday, if you're marathoning something, not too critical to interrupt. I mean, technically you can just whisper Jagabot at any time, and I will see it the next day or the next time I open up the thingy. At least in theory, that's the case. Okay, I need to heal. Not taking the same chances again like last time. Ow. Oh my god. Alrighty, just going to use an elixir here. I really don't feel like dying here. Also, the time is not particularly dangerous, but the chance of Phoenix Stone just straight up missing is too high. Ferris gained the level, and coincidentally that was just the last level that I needed to get. A bit unfortunate for the elixir, but whatever. I'd rather survive the encounter and farm another elixir later. Typing off-handed is slow with a dominant full pizza. Enjoy your pizza, Profnas. That sounds tasty. And well, that's it for Final Fantasy V for now. I'm going to take a very short break, and then I'll be back with Tales of Fantasia, some more routing. Be right back. And also I'll add